everyone, my name is Haley Silva. For this assignment, we were asked to observe a learning environment where learners are being assessed. We were also asked to pay attention to certain details and types of assessments that were used and if all learners are receiving the same assessments. For this assignment, I chose to observe the supervisors, parents, and children at my internship, which is an organization called Arizonans for Children. This organization would fall into the non-traditional educational setting. This observation took place on Friday, November 10th, 2017 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. After completing the observation, I then had a discussion with my supervisor, whom I observed during this process. Andrea Chavez has not only served as a supervisor at this organization, but also as a mentor to me as well. This supervisor can be reached at 602-252-2220. According to OB and SAP, assessment is a critical component of the educational process. Observation. The observation was conducted during the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. time frame at this organization. I thought it was very interesting to see how the supervisors and families were assessed in a non-traditional setting. Before this assignment, I would have thought that being assessed would deal with some type of test to see the progress that has been made and to also test one's knowledge. However, that is not the case in all situations, especially in a non-traditional educational setting. During this observation, I was able to observe 2 visits. One visit was with a family who had a supervisor who was new that was shadowing the director. The second visit was the same supervisor who now had experience and was leading a visit. I chose these visits because I thought it would be an excellent way to assess and see the progress between the 2 visits and see how my director assesses her supervisors. During the observation, I took notes on the differences in the supervisor's personality and voice as it changed from unsure to taking charge with experience under her belt. Although the experience was just after her first visit, that was enough to show progress. The discussion. After observing the 2 visits, I then went and had a conversation with my supervisor, who is the director at the organization. We talked about the different strategies to identify a learner's skill, and she noted that comparing the reports is the best form of assessing in this learning environment. The background to the reports. During each visit, the supervisor must take notes that include what happened during the visit, what was said, and the different emotions and actions that took place within the visit. After the visit is complete, the supervisor is asked to write a formal report that is then sent to the judge who oversees the custody case. According to OB and SAP, progress monitoring systems are characterized by educators conducting frequent assessments to monitor student learning as well as effectiveness of their instructional practices. These reports would fall under these progress monitoring systems. During the first visit, the new supervisor is shadowing the director while still taking notes and will later conduct her own report. At the end of the day, the director then compares the 2 reports and sees the differences if the new supervisor needs continued training or more information to be able to lead the visits. This is a way for the director to see the supervisor's understandings of the situation. OB and SAP also said that assessment serves various purposes, including screening, diagnosis, progress monitoring, and outcome measures. The second visit, where the supervisor was leading her own visit, was very different. During the second visit, you can see the progress of the supervisor taking charge of the visit and shows that she knows the information and knowledge. The director again reviews the report as a form of assessing the supervisor's knowledge and learner's skill of the situation. According to Hall, summative assessment is retrospective in that it looks back at what has been achieved, perhaps over a term, year, or key state. The director agrees that assessing her supervisors is more of a formative and summative assessment. We both agreed that this was more of this type of strategy because it is supporting learning and being able to take the information and feedback from the director and improve based on those suggestions. It is also this type of learning because you are again summing up the learner's knowledge in a certain area and looking back at how far they have come. Both forms of assessing are tied to the situation by the director looking at the reports and seeing where the supervisor starts out and how far they have come, and suggesting ideas on how they can continue to grow and where they should go from that point on. One strategy I would suggest as an addition to what the director currently is implementing would be a form of dynamic assessment. This form of assessment is more of a one-to-one support. Instead of reviewing the reports and emailing feedback, the supervisor could conduct a form of dynamic assessment and present that feedback in a meeting or a small review session where the supervisor receives the feedback on how to better themselves and move forward with the given information. The conclusion. The assignment has helped me to see through different perspectives that assessing your learners does not always mean taking a test or teaching them more, especially in a non-traditional educational setting. Hall suggests that the use of formative assessments, a test out of view, the learner as active, a chaser after meaning, and an agent with ideas, views, and feeling about how and why they are being assessed. Through this assignment, I have been able to make connections of what we have been learning this week and understand and reflect the assessment evaluation so that I may utilize various assessment strategies to identify a learner's skill in my future target career as a child life specialist. By learning the multiple ways on how to assess my learners, I will become more resourceful and supportive towards my students' needs and also be able to support them and put them on a path to success.